so there's so much that happened, Gopa, and I must say that everything changed. Now I started earning some money.
Yeah.
I got a phone for myself. I started getting calls for shows.
Yeah.
And then now when I started working Nameless, now everything changed completely. Nameless did something that I never thought anyone could do for me.
Yeah.
Nameless had a tour in the States. And it was his tour. And we had already done Juju. Juju was doing very well and already released the video.
Yeah.
And that was in 2004.
Yeah. Yes.
So he was called for a tour in the States. So he sat down and he thought about it, and he was like, you know what? I think I need to incorporate some of the people I've worked with. And there was another guy also who was now the one who, managed to, organize the whole thing with the promoters in the state. This guy is called, his name is Tony Mbarine. Tony Mbarine had brothers in the States. And some other guy, there's another guy called Smoothie, also in the States.
Yeah.
So these guys had come together and they decided we're going to do a Nameless tour. So I remember Tony Mbarine calling me one day.
Yeah.
And he called me and he's like, hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm sure you've been told about me and want to take Nameless to the tour. And we have decided to also have you.
Yeah.
Hey! A tour in America.
Yes.
You get it. That was now the next level.
Yeah. How old are you at this time?
Wow. I think I was around 24, 25 then.
So still pretty much young.
Yeah, very young.
Yes, yeah.
Very, very young. 23, 24 there.
Yeah.
So Nameless comes and says, hey, man, I think we have a tour, man.
Yeah.
We have a tour, guys. And so he decided he's going to take me, Wahoo, my brother, my younger brother, was part of it. So, because he started dancing.
I see. Okay.
He started dancing. And there's another friend of ours called Brayo. So actually, I'm the one who connected my brother and Brayo with Nameless. So they started dancing for Nameless.
Yes, yeah.
So by virtue of that, Nameless also took them.
Yeah.
So we went for a tour.
Yeah.
In fact, let me give you a story. When we were applying for the visa, it was, getting an American visa was not an easy thing. It still is not.
Still is not. Yeah.
So I remember, us being briefed on what we're going to say and what,
Yeah.
And one thing we were told is that, you have to be yourself and you cannot lie. And,
Yes.
So when that day came, we had all our papers, everything sorted and all that.
Yeah.
So we went there very early in the morning. I think by 5 or something, we were there. Now we sat there, and those days they had counters like this. The way you walk in a bank, and they have counters.
Yeah. I think they still do. The US Embassy, still the same thing. Yeah.
Then all of you are seated back like this.
Yes.
And you watch these guys being interviewed.
Yes.
And
it's so humiliating
it's
sometimes. It's so humiliating. It's humiliating.
Then guys are being denied for visas.
Yes, ukiona ban.
Let me tell you, and we were some of the last guys to be interviewed. I think we were like the third last people to be interviewed. And you remember we came in there from 6 in the morning. So just sit there.
Yes.
And then you can't call anyone because you've left your phone outside.
Yes.
You can't talk to anyone. You're just there.
Yeah.
There's no even lunch, nothing.
Yeah.
So as we are talking, because now we are bored. Talking all of us, including Tony Mbaride, who was now their tour manager.
Yeah.
All of us, Wahoo, my brother Christian, and Brayo, Nini. I was just there talking, and I told them, you guys, if you are asked to sing, this will be our visa to the States. And that's not just passed out, it was just a comment.
Yeah.
Sasa ikafika time yetu kwenda kwa interviewed. So now, because we've gone as a group, that's one of the interviewers was like, we have to interview each and every individual.
Yeah.
You can't.
You can't go as a group.
You can't go as a group.
Yeah.
So each and every individual, I have to look at their papers and I will interview separately.
Yes.
So we all went in.
Yeah.
One by one. But they called our manager. And so the manager talked, they said, you explained to them what you are doing, Nini. We're there as a group, Nini. Yeah. But they still wanted to interview us as individually, which they did.
Yeah.
But now, once they were done, and then they checked our papers, one of the interviewers was like, it was a white guy, and he was like, now, you guys have said you're musicians, right? Right, yes. I want you to sing for me. Hey! I did not even waste a second.
Yeah.
I told guys, now we're going to do Juju. Sawa. Amenipa Juju, ni majuju, ni mesha. Even our manager, amenipa Juju, we're there singing and dancing. Remember Juju, we have a dance.
At the visa office.
Yes, right there, and guys are behind us. Even before we were finished. Guys are clapping for us.
Oh my God.
That was our ticket to the States, let me tell you. That guy had no choice.
Stamp.
Kila mtu visa. All of us we got our visas. It was such a, that was almost like, it's like going to heaven. America is, it was like going to heaven. Because there are people who had gone and they'd been denied a visa. So it was exciting, and we got our visas, and let me tell you, that day when it came to travel, it looked like Nikama Wombo. It's like, we couldn't believe it. So we, we left. It took us, 2-3 days to get to the States. The state, we landed in Dallas, and that was like even our first home. And then this Texas, Dallas, and these guys had prepared for us a place, like they took somebody's home, and they each gave us a room and all. It was a big house.
It's like an earlier version of Airbnb.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
very big, beautiful house, and we stayed there like a family, man. It was like a dream come true. Let me tell you, we did our first show in Dallas. We only had 5 shows that had been confirmed, and we were supposed to do 5 shows, come back home.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to be there for like just a month.
Yes.
Because the gigs were happening during the weekends. We did our first show in Dallas. Immediately, we got another one in Houston, still in Texas.
Yes.
And let me tell you, from there onwards, we had like 15 gigs.
So the shows multiplied.
They multiplied.
Yeah.
And word spread. Word spread. What these guys must
So you're being booked as you're there.
Yes. Let me tell you, we did a serious road trip. Tulikuwa tunaenda by road, by the way.
Okay.
State to state. We went to so many states, passed through so many other states.
Yes.
And that was the best, like the epitome of my musical career.
I see.
I don't think I've ever had any other, time that I can say that was, top
People
notch.
until now still dream of that kind of experience.
Yes.
Musicians now.
Yeah. That was something else. So we were there. We were supposed to be there for 1 month. We ended up there being for 3 months.
Wow.
3 good months.
Wow. Yeah.
It was an experience and a half.
Yeah.
I will never forget it. I'm thankful to Nameless and Tony Barine for giving me that chance to be in that tour. I learned so much. We got so much love from the people. My goodness, the love was awesome.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I love Kashmani. Githurai and Kashmani. I remember the first day I performed Kashmani on stage. One lady just came out from nowhere and started just making it rain on stage. You just
literally like
and just, I need some cash money. And from that day, everywhere we went, somebody was making it rain on stage.
Okay.
You can imagine. So cash money for me is a very, Yani it's one song I'm so proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a single that I will always treasure.
Yeah.
And Githurai, because Githurai was now what brought me to the limelight.
Would you do a remake of Cash Money with a younger artist now?
I don't mind, as long as, you know, the thing about remixing a song.
Yeah.
Or
Or even someone to sample it.
Yes.
And then like make it to the new kind of flavor. Yeah.
It's okay and it's good. In fact, you just reminded me when we were doing the remix to Githurai.
Yeah.
Lucas was not really for that idea. Because he was like, you know, when you're doing a remix, you really have to outdo yourself.
Yes.
Like it has to be better.
It has to be better than the original, obviously. Yeah.
And I can say we were lucky because the remix.
It was. In fact, people know the remix more than the original.
People don't even know the original song.
No.
And it was a banger. So, back to your question. Yes, I wouldn't mind somebody doing a remix to it.
Yes.
Or, you know, just redoing the song, but you have to make it better.
Yes. This is the standard.
Make it bigger.
Yes. Yeah.
That is the essence of doing a remix.
Yeah.
You just make it bigger and better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the journey, and you know, after that I collaborated with other artists, and at some point I had to leave Ogopa because there was a line up, you know. Because I wanted to do an album. But there was a lineup, you know, like they had already decided who's going to do an album and who's not going to do an album. So mimi niliangana nikaona bado niko mbali sana. And I am curious, and I want, you know, I had this hunger. I wanted my, you know, to have more songs out there of my own. So, and then they introduce these contracts for albums. Some very harsh contracts.
Okay. They're becoming a proper label.
Yes, a proper label.
Yeah.
But I felt that it was not going to work. And because, again, I had to stay for so long without releasing music. I decided I needed to, you know, to look for other stables. So I went to, I think I started with, I worked with Musyoka. Musyoka. Actually, one day, I don't know what I was doing there, but one day Musyoka calls me, and he's like, niko na beat flani hapa Lenny. A beat known as you know, you can do some good to it. So I went to Homeboys. At that time, I used to work for him, Homeboys. And I entered the studio, and he plays to me that instrumental. And I'm like, wow, this is different. Very different. So I sat there, I listened to it, I loved the track. I'm like, nipatie, I'm going to do something with it.
Musyoka is genius.
So I sat there. I sat there and I listened and I took the track and I went home with it. And no, I think I sat there and I started writing the lyrics there. So I did leo nitahakikisha, leo lazima atakuwa wangu. Musyoka was happy. He's like, yes, this is it. So I sat down, wrote the verses, I finished. We laid down the vocals, and by the time he was done, he was like, what do you think? Me, I'm like, yes, I love it. So I left it with him, and you know, he did his mixing, mastering, and all that. And later on, he called me after a couple of days. He gave me the track. I went on to the stations.
Dope track, another banger.
I gave I think Minor was still playing that in Kiss. Played the song. It would play 10 times a day. It became such a huge track. This is now a second single of my own. I was so energized. I'm like, wow, okay, this is working. So, but at the same time, I think he was working with Dij. I think they were working with Dij.
Musyoka.
Musyoka.
Okay.
Yeah, there was Dij, and then I think there was other. Even Nameless did something with
Yeah, he did.
Musyoka.
With him and Nonini.
Nonini.
Friday.
Yes, and also Ambrose. They teamed up with Ambrose.
Yes, yeah.
Ambrose did a song for Nameless and Nyashinsky, Najidai.
Yes.
Which was a dope track.
Yeah.
So I decided I needed to now get a producer whom I'll be, I will stick with.
Yes.
So I went to Ogopa, to RK Studio.
Yes.
Robert Kamanzi.
Burundian guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So RK had a studio somewhere here on Ngong Road, off Ngong Road somewhere. And so I went to see him, we spoke. I already had many ideas. Some ideas that, I had while I was still in Ogopa. So I shared with him, and he was like, I think this, you have so much. Yeah, why not? Let's work.
Yeah.
So the first track I think I did with the RK was Jaja. There's a song called Jaja. It goes like, Nasikia nimejaja, nasikia niko fiti sana, nasikia nimejaja, niko poa sana, mambo sasa freshi. So I did the song, and same thing. I took it to the stations. They played the song, and I felt, wow, okay, this is not so bad. So now I'm like, I think I can do my album.
Yeah.
So I sat with RK, and we started recording. And I recorded a couple of songs, about seven to eight songs. And but it reached a point I was stuck. I didn't have enough money to finish up the project.
Yeah.
So I was able to do one particular song, finish everything, do vocals and video.
Yeah.
And that's when I did Helena. Yeah. Helena, oh, Helena, uko wapi supu wangu?
Was that RK?
Yes.
It has the RK feel, the Zouk feel.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely. And that is the song I was supposed to do at Ogopa's. Yeah, but I couldn't. Yeah, so so RK did a dope track.
Yeah.
And after that, I looked for money, and I went to, I got some friends, and we shot the video for Helena. Yeah. So again, Helena, very well received.
Yes.
In fact, I remember I even sent it to Channel O, and they would play that song as if it was their own.
Yeah.
They really played that song, which for me was a good thing. And that's when I really decided, now I'm going to do an album. So for the album, I teamed up with a couple of guys. Nameless was in my album. There's a song we did because we had agreed when we did Juju.
Yes.
We agreed Juju was gonna be on his album because he was working on his album at that particular time.
Yes. And then when your time comes,
then my time comes, we're gonna do another song.
Yes.
So we did a song called Vuruta Kamba. Which I never released, but came out with the album. So Nameless featured in that album. There's Big Pin, and in fact the song I did with Big Pin is what I used to name the album.
Yeah, it was the album title.
Yes, album title. Kwa Nini. The song is called Kwa Nini Nini, but I decided to get the name Kwa Nini from that song.
Yes.